the show. But as we do each and every Modelo Monday, we put a minute on the clock and go through each and every one of these Big 12 football games. Cheers to you, the full-time fan by Modelo. Hopefully those group chats were popping, not melting down. I know the Texas Tech fans group chat was popping. So Modelo, the official beer of your group chat, and your group chat meltdowns. All right, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, guys. Arizona State versus West Virginia.
Arizona State and West Virginia. Keith Abney's interception of Scotty Fox sealed the victory for Arizona State. This was a game of explosive plays. Scotty Fox was big time, 75-yard, 90-yard touchdowns. But Arizona State won the boring downs, red zone, short yardage, special teams, late game situational football. And West Virginia could not run football at all. Also credit Jeff Sims, had another fantastic game, 207 passing, 81 rushing, 3 touchdowns. Diced West Virginia's secondary.
Yeah, this was kind of a weird game in that it was definitely closer than we anticipated, but also Arizona State built a 22-10 halftime lead, had a big second quarter, and you think they've got this thing in the bag going away, and then West Virginia gobbled up yards late in the contest to make that late surge. I think there's a lot that West Virginia can use this game as momentum and kind of build off of to say that, hey, we're not that far behind some of the top teams in the Big 12. They only had 68 yards rushing on 38 carries in this game, but again, the big plays kept them in it.
All right, Kansas State versus Oklahoma State.
K-State forced 5 Oklahoma State turnovers, including 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles from Oklahoma State quarterback Zane Flores. Trent Howland, the Oklahoma State running back, also had an INT to give them 5. But K-State somehow wins. They blew them out 14-6 despite 5 turnovers. First win for Kansas State, though, James, in Stillwater since 2017.
Yeah, it had been a really long time, and that's what Chris Kleiman started with during his post-game press conference, which really got the K-State fans riled up. My K-State group chat was not pleasant on Saturday.
It was meltdown mode, full on.
You forced 5 turnovers, and sure, all of K-State's 14 points came off of those 5 turnovers, but it's only 14 points. This is a game where you thought the K-State offense should go bananas. Avery Johnson barely completed 50% of his passes, less than 200 yards, nothing flashy. Joe Jackson had less than 70 yards on the ground, but Kansas State got out of there with a win, and now they are 1 win away from bowl eligibility, but there was no want to in this game for Kansas State, and that part was disappointing.
Oklahoma State outgained Kansas State by 90 yards. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Arizona versus Cincinnati.
Arizona versus Cincinnati. 3 straight now for Arizona. Big-time win for the Wildcats as they go down to Nippert Stadium and get this win. Simply put, Arizona was just the better rushing football team in this one, James. And Michael Salgado Medina, missed his first 2 kicks, then barely made a 24-yarder before half. And then he hit 2 big field goals, including a 51-yarder to make it a much further separation for Arizona late in this game. Impressive win for Brett Brennan. Go on the road and grind out a tough win. Great rushing performance for Risano, Craig, and Mahdi. Combined 31 carries, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also, Noah Fafita broke the all-time Arizona touchdown record with 68 career touchdown passes now.
He was fantastic, almost 300 yards passing, the 2-headed monster on the ground, and the Arizona defense held Cincinnati to less than 200 yards passing. It was not a great day for Brendan Sorsby. And Arizona, Brent Brennan, this is a signature win for him and his coaching tenure. He is officially off the hot seat. Should have never been on it to begin with. Also, Chris Hudson had a big day catching passes, 8 for 123. He provided those big play catches that kept drives alive.
Utah versus Baylor.
Holy Bird Ficklin. Utah brutalized Baylor with 380 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. Baylor actually had more yardage in this game than Utah, but 380 rushing yards for Utah. They also had 67 and 74-yard touchdown runs by backup quarterback Bird Ficklin, who had 6 carries for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. He flipped them the bird. Wayshawn Parker also had a 64-yard carry. This game was 28-20 in the second half, and then Utah outscored Baylor 27-8 to win 55-20.
And this has been the story of Baylor's season. Ton of offensive yards. Outside of that, not much to show for it. And they're garbage yards. I thought Utah was by far the more explosive team.
Yeah.
Devin Dampier was fantastic. Bird Ficklin with the stiff arm of the century. Just trucked a guy on his first touch, a 67-yard touchdown run that I felt like really sprung things for the Utes. A ton of explosive plays, 55 points on the road. They had 3 touchdown runs, all over 60 yards, a major statement. And remember, style points matter. This was winning in style on the road.
BYU versus TCU.
Maybe BYU's offensive woes last week had a lot to do with Tech and their defense. BYU was up 27-10 at half. Hoover had 2 second-half interceptions, including a pick six that made it 44-13. BYU piled up 447 total yards, 6.2 yards per play, and more than 36 minutes of possession. So it was a dominant performance. Also, their defense held Josh Hoover to 183 yards passing, 10 of 23 with 2 interceptions. Hoover was sacked 4 times with 5 tackles for loss for BYU's defense.
Yeah, BYU came to play. They stomped TCU on their home field, on their home turf, and we thought this was maybe a trap game. Remember, this is the same week last year that BYU got upset at home against Kansas. Not this time. Bachmeier, 296, a touchdown. BYU, total domination on both sides of the ball. They held Josh Hoover in check. They had a pick six in this game. They did it with complimentary football, and they looked big time Saturday night.
TCU at UCF.
All right, Tech led 21-0 early in the second quarter and then 38-2 at halftime. They outgained UCF 499-230 and 205 yards of 52 on the ground. Tech scored on 8 of 12 drives and never trailed. Jacob Rodriguez had a rushing touchdown in this one. He also had another interception, his 4th of the year. He struck the Heisman pose. Yeah, this was a coronation game on senior night for Texas Tech.
Up 38-2.
38-2.
At halftime. They held UCF to just 52 yards on the ground. This was an absolute blowout that probably could have been even more lopsided than it was. The Texas Tech defense held UCF to barely 200 yards. And Jacob Rodriguez, if you need touchdowns to win the Heisman, head coach Joey McGuire says, we'll put him in at tailback. Let him run in for a touchdown. He intercepted a pass. He had 9 tackles in this game, 6 solo, and his first offensive touchdown out of the Wildcat, which could actually be a new wrinkle because, remember, he played high school. He played quarterback in high school and actually started his playing career as a quarterback at Virginia before he transferred to Texas Tech.
Yeah, we only saw Baron Morton for half of this game after being up 38-2. They put in Mitch Griffiths in the second half. And how about Reggie Virgil? A wide out with 0 career carries before this game ends the night with 3 touchdowns, 2 runs, 1 catch as part of Tech's 5 rushing touchdowns. So when you thought Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey and their rushing attack, well, they added Reggie Virgil to that rushing attack now too.
Well, I think they needed a new wrinkle. They needed something to spark that offense. They'd really leaned on their defense, and we touched on it last week. Their red zone offense hadn't been very good, and so they tried a whole lot of different things, and they all worked really well.